Hey, what's up there, everybody? So today I'm checking out the first Berserker Khazan on both the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck. I'm going to be showing you the performance and the settings I'm using in order to run this game on these handhelds at the best FPS and what works for me. If you happen to have the ROG Ally, you can check out the timestamp on screen or in the description down below so you can fast forward to that part. But if you happen to have the Steam Deck, you could go ahead and continue watching from here. So starting off with the Steam Deck, we're going to go into the settings. I'm going to show you which graphics quality I'm using. So I currently have this set to custom. Shadow quality is on medium, anti-aliasing is on high, render distance is long, texture high, post-processing high. Pretty much everything is on high except for mesh on medium. You have ambient occlusion on medium. You have this on low. That's on, and then motion blur I have turned off. So by default, I believe the game does set it to medium settings. I set it to high and then changed a few other things as well. You have VSync, VSync is set to on. XDirect is set to Direct 11, and then I switched it to 12, and I really didn't see too much of a difference. The ROG Ally is set by default to DirectX 12. I'm not sure if this is because of the Steam Deck or whatever, but I didn't really notice too much of a difference between the two settings. And then you have this here that's set to on as well. So it runs at around 40 to 50 FPS, depending on which part of the map you're on. Other than that, it runs really well. So like I said, by default, it is set to medium settings. Everything's set to medium. I set it to high because it actually can run it at that higher setting. So if you want, if you could go ahead, set that to a lower setting, get a little bit of more FPS out of it. But as you can see here, we're running at roughly 50, 55 FPS, and we're on that high setting. Once you get into a battle, it may dip down to about 45, 40, 48. It's where I kind of saw that hanging on an average. So the game runs very well on the Steam Deck. It runs even better on the ROG Ally, except for the only difference I really see with the Ally is that the battery drains a lot quicker than it does on the Steam Deck. And, well, that's just a trade-off. So for the ROG Ally Z1 Extreme, going into the settings, I have it set to 1080p. Custom settings, I have shadow set to medium, and then pretty much everything set to high except for ambient occlusion. I also have the motion blur turned off, VSync off. It's set to DirectX 12. Like I mentioned before with the Steam Deck, I really didn't see a difference between the two. However, I did not test it with the ROG Ally, so I'm not sure if there's a difference here when switching between the two. So if you want to go ahead and check it out for yourself, you could do that. Everything else is set to off except for the AMD FSR2. I have that set on to performance, and I did see a boost of about 10 FPS, so I definitely would check that out. Play around with that, see what works better for you between balance, quality, performance, and high performance. But I found the best balance between everything was around in performance. So that's what I have set for these settings there. And as you can see here, I'm setting around 49, 50 FPS. It does dip below the 45 mark, so about 42, and it hovers between 40 to 50 FPS like it did with the Steam Deck. I have my settings, which I'll show you here in just a second because you can't pause in this game. But in the command center, I am running 15-watt performance mode. Once again, 1080p resolution and 60 Hz refresh rate. Now, this game doesn't really go over 60 FPS all too much when playing on the ROG Ally, so there's no reason to really bump that that refresh rate up all too much. So just trying to save a little bit of battery life there. You can also go ahead and boost this up to 25 watt or even 30 watt turbo mode if you're plugged in. Get a lot more FPS out of that, just a cleaner, smoother gameplay if you want. We're already set to high 1080p, so the graphics look perfectly fine, especially for the size of this handheld. But if you wanted to get a little bit of more FPS, you could always go ahead and do that. I'm just setting it to this mode so I can get a better battery life out of the game itself. But it does run extremely well on both handhelds. So if you're looking to pick this game up for yourself or you want to try it for yourself, the demo is available on Steam. You can check out the link in the description down below. If you happen to have any questions about this, any other settings you would like for me to try out, you could just ask me in the comment section down below, and I'll try to do that to the best of my ability. But thanks so much for watching this video. I'm about to die to this thing. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you happen to have any questions, like I mentioned, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more Steam Deck and ROG Ally videos, and I'll see you on the next one.